All right, everybody. Jason Love coming at you here live from across the pond here in the United States after an unbelievable Manchester United performance that has to leave United fans feeling both happy and elated because it's an amazing result. 5-0 victory over a very good Red Bull Leipzig team who had been undefeated on the season. And it leaves you in a great position in Champions League, but also a bit frustrated because, like, where has this performance been from Man United on a consistent basis since the start of the 2020-2021 campaign? I mean, we're coming off a nil-nil uninspiring draw versus Chelsea. We're coming off not that far removed from a terrible performance against Tottenham. I mean, we had the nice turnaround against Newcastle, but again, then out of nowhere we have this performance. But in terms of Champions League, you have to be ecstatic, just absolutely ecstatic, because a 5-0 victory, it puts us 5 goals to the good, actually 6 goals to the good in terms of goal differential. No other team in the Group H has a goal differential better than +1. The first 2 matches, winning away to Paris, basically flipped the group, and then winning at home in such a fancy fashion, such a just a inspiring fashion against Red Bull Leipzig. And I said fancy because we really did look fancy out there, just defeating this team, drubbing this team that is a very good side from the German league, and really putting ourselves now to be obviously the favorites to advance from this group of death. When this group was set up, I honestly believed Man United might finish third. Leipzig's a great side. They've done really well in the German league. Obviously, PSG is very, very tough, though we have 2 unbelievable victories away at PSG our last 2 times out there. But now we go from a team looking and hoping to advance to the favorites. Like, we should win the group now. There's 4 matches left, 2 versus the bottom feeder that have to be wins. And then if you can just get anything out of the other 2 matches, even draws will do, with our goal differential being what it is. So as for the game itself, Ole's tactics have been called into question so many times by United supporters, and oftentimes rightfully so, sometimes a bit unfairly. But you have to say the man got it right tonight. I mean, you get a 5-0 win at home against a good side in which you really just never were threatened after going ahead in the 21st minute. You just you have to give Ole credit. I mean, I looked at the lineups, I questioned it. I liked seeing Van de Beek out there. I liked Fred out there. I liked Matic returning, but you had to wonder why no Bruno. Martial is a lone striker. It was very, very interesting, to say the least. And then they go out there and put in the kind of performance that you just love to see. Let's start with the game itself. Really, really bossed the game, even though we surrendered a little over half the possession. United looked dangerous with the ball every time. Leipzig had a couple threats. De Gea made a really good save on a header, but overall, once United went ahead on a goal checked by, once again, VAR becomes center of the show. VAR just always center of the show these days, isn't it? As Greenwood with just a nice run and a very good finish, and of course, looked level with the final defender, but so did a couple other plays by teams I'm not going to mention that were called offside by just ridiculous hair lengths, and you had to be worrying as a United supporter on 2 VAR occasions this game. The second being the goal that just put the game away in the 74th minute before United pulled away. Again, as for the lineups, I questioned it at first. I didn't love it. De Gea and net obviously is fine. The back four you like: Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Matic back. Okay, I mean, he's got to play sometimes. Fred has been very good, to be honest. And excited to see Van de Beek, but you had to wonder why no Rashford and why no Bruno. But Ole seemed to obviously pushed all the right buttons today, because they win 5-0. I mean, you can't question it. So let's talk about the game itself. I'm sorry, the player ratings. Let me get some player ratings out there for you. We'll start at the back. De Gea couple of good saves. The man pitched the shutout. You got to give him a 9. He was phenomenal. And obviously, you get the clean sheet's a clean sheet. Shaw was very good, a solid 7 for me. He played very well at the back. He did well with ball control and transitioning. You know, he played as he should. So that, to me, that's a 7. Not very, very, not below standard, not above, not that much above standard. So it's a 7 to me. Paul Pogba was just wonderful, hustling all over the field. Great player, ball recovery, just bossed the game. He was a 9 for me. Matic, very good, solid 7. He was just out there doing what he needed to do, and a very good performance by him. Fred was beautiful in this game. He played probably his best game of United shirt. For me, it's at 8.5, maybe even a 9. He was wonderful. Van de Beek, you loved how he played. He looked real well on the ball. 7.5 for me. He showed really good ability to transition defense into offense, and it's exactly what you want from him. Greenwood was great. An unbelievable finish. We're going to give him an 8. He had a great finish of the goal. Looked dangerous all afternoon or all evening. A very, very nice game by him. Martial, he was at times invisible, but he did score a penalty, so I'm going to give him a 6.5. Really good effort from Martial for the most part when he was involved in the play. I'll say. Occasionally has been the problem with Martial. When he's not really involved with the ball, he's kind of invisible, and that's sort of why he's a 6.5 for me. It was intriguing that I took the penalty, and we'll get to that in a second. And see if I left out any starters. I don't believe I have. Just scroll through here my notes. Oh, I left out a couple of starters. Victor Lindelof was awesome. He played great at the back, as did the whole back line. So to me, he was an 8. He was just tremendous, partnering with Maguire, who for me was a 9. Maguire, after a week of being much maligned, has started to turn into that really good player that we were hoping we got. And finally, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, just absolutely great out there. To me, a 9. He was awesome. Read the game well. Some great headers out, some great deflections, some great blocks. Very good play. The subs, McTominay came on and was solid. He did what he needed to do, and he did well, getting a 7 for me, or 7.5 really. He was just solid. Rashford's a 10. Normally I can't give a sub a 10, but you gotta love Rashford. The guy scores twice from the run of play, once with a VAR, which would rightly called a goal. Being that he made the run from his own half, they'd called him offside live, but gave it to him, the goal, and just a beautiful finish to go 2-0. Then he scores a goal about a minute later. A great finish, a great individual effort to dribble through a defender. Then there's an opportunity for a penalty, and you think he's going to take it because he's on the hat trick, but he, as is his nature, being so charitable, he's been charitable throughout the whole pandemic. Why not now? He allows Martial to take it. Martial nearly gets saved, but does finish. And then in the end, he gets the hat trick anyway, putting the finishing touches on what was an unbelievable effort. As for the rest of the subs, a beautiful pass from Bruno. He wasn't really on that long, but he absolutely, made an impact. Very dangerous free kick, nearly put a ball in, a teasing ball that nearly resulted in a goal. And we'll give him like a 7. He was solid and a great pass. Cavani with a beautiful finish, but he was offside, but it was a great finish. Tuanzebe, not really on long enough. And of course, the manager, Ole, wonderful performance by him. Got everything right. Glory, glory, Man United. Got to be excited. We are bossing the group that was dubbed the Group of Death. Good night, everyone.